We start off with the news from Parliament, and the former rector of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA, Professor Stephen Aidoo, may be summoned to appear before Parliament to defend his claim that MPs are corrupt.
About a month ago, you'd remember Professor Aidoo was on the news for suggesting that MPs take bribes before passing bills. Majority Chief Whip Mohamed Muntaka Mubarak tells our parliamentary correspondent Elton Brobe the leadership is working towards getting Professor Aidoo to substantiate his allegations.
The lack of Professor Stephen Aidoo should know they are elderly statesmen and women of our country. I don't want to believe that Prof, if he had walked in here, comes to book an appointment, even without an appointment, that he wants to see the minority leader. The minority leader will turn him away. He wants to see the majority leader. The majority leader will turn him away. He wants to see the speaker. Even without an appointment, I want to believe the lack of Professor Aidoo will be giving audience even without an appointment. And I thought in nation building, it is not about chastising. It is about trying to get a system run the way we should all expect it. I would have expected Professor Aidoo to walk in here and come and launch a complaint that one day we're doing the GIMPA bill, and that I believe that would have been the education committee. This and this and this transpired, and I want to believe the speaker or the leaders will have taken it up very, very, very seriously. There have been a number of times that people have come to make some complaints, and we will immediately, sometimes even in the absence of the leaders, we the whips, we immediately begin to query and question just to be able to get things straightened up. So I want to wait because the speaker will have to decide what needs to be done. Yesterday I heard my colleague, the deputy minority leader, making some assurances that he will definitely be invited. I cannot guarantee that, having been in any meeting where this has been discussed. But I want to plead with the like of Professor Stephen Aidoo. They should know they are elderly state people. People are looking up to them. And then you make sweeping statement. It is very hurting because you see, we are 275. Even if 270 of us are doing the wrong thing, and there's some 5 who are doing genuinely sincere and honest work, and you lump all, you are not being fair to that 5. Not alone, I can put my life online to say those who may be doing without admitting the guilt, because he's saying, GIMPA, I'm not a member of the education committee, I will not be able to attest whether when the committee they were sent to anywhere, whether they were giving lunch, whether they were giving anything, I will not be able to attest to that. But to say, I want to believe those who may be doing some wrong, may be very few, that if together with the like of Professor Stephen Aidoo, we'll put our heads together, we'll be able to easily fish out those ones. So I'll be able to deal with it so that the system could be able to run. Because look, without parliament, there'll be no parliament, there'll be no democracy.
The Coalition for the Defense of Equal Citizenship, that's CODEC, they've staged a demonstration in Accra to kick against the compilation of a new voters register.
The group says there's no need for the existing register to be replaced and rather suggest an audit of the existing register. Ali Dawood is Director of Operations of CODEC.
The impact has already been made. What we did today was to sample the ordinary views of all Ghanaians, indeed those in majority, that we do not need a new voter register. That is what we did. And so when you read on the placards,
so what did you say? You are influencing, are you influencing the views of people, or you are sampling their views?
Now, you see, when we organized the forum, it was to give people the opportunity to air their views. So CODEC really could not put words in the mouth of their followers.
How did they air their views?
No, we gave them the platform to state their position, and they did that.
What did they say? Simple. What did they say?
They give the clearest indication that they do not need a new voter register. What we need to do is to ensure the maintenance of credibility in the existing voter register. Remember, a credible voter register does not necessarily mean a new voter register. You could have a register, it could be problematic, of course. It's something that's, you know, is normal with human institution. But you must take steps. You must build internal mechanism to clear all errors or to weed away anything that will be problematic in the voter register, because there's no guarantee that tomorrow, if we should go for a new voter register, these problems that we are crying wolf about will not occur. In fact, they will be worse. Because the argument that, for instance, somebody used NHIS card to obtain a voter's ID card, for instance, and therefore you could not vouch for his citizenship. Remember, when the new voter register has been collated or has been done, anybody with the previous voter's ID card is allowed to register. And on those ID cards, there's nothing that indicates that Ali, for instance, acquired his with NHIS. There's nothing that shows.
So for you, if we should go ahead and put together a new register, what's the big deal for Kodak? What's the big deal? Will it hurt the country in any way? Will it jeopardize our elections in any way? It wouldn't, right?
It will.
How?
Time is something that is not renewable. I'm sure you know that already.
That.
And so the greatest resources that will deplete for no good reason is time. They will be taking us, like I said, centuries back. We are moving forward, of course, in a proper direction. Every 4 years, we change our register. The only time since 1957 that this country has seen a credible biometric voter register is 2012. And so allow us to use that. And you see, the advantage that comes with the existing voter register is significant. Its inbuilt mechanism allows you to detect multiple registration. You can't even vote twice. You may be able to register maybe 1,000 times. But believe me, after the exercise during exhibition, it will show you. They will delete all 999 times that you register and leave just one. Underage, they are there. That is why IPAC is there, to make sure that some of these things, when they occur, we will weed them out. An exercise as credible as having a biometric voter register requires, one, if there's any doubt to be raised, that there should be incontrovertible evidence, preponderance of which should tilt towards changing the voter register. Failure of this should have an absolute ignorance about the electoral processes. What does it mean? It simply means that for somebody to challenge the credibility of the existing voter register, the person ought, first of all, upon himself to produce evidence beyond which there will be no doubt.
You think the NPP has
not? They have not done that.
You think so?
And this language, potential, they need to take Ghanaians much more seriously. Potential is not certainty, and in law, certainty is everything.
This is what you're going to tell the team if you should meet them
If it is
tomorrow.
about personal dissatisfaction, maybe because I feel that I keep losing elections and I keep losing elections every year, so I need to come up with an excuse, to question the credibility of my future laws. I mean, those are unfortunate comments, but they do not constitute solid reason for which should inform a change of our existing biometric register.
So we'll bring you a lot more update on that, because we know the Electoral Commission today will be convening that very forum, which is expected to be attended by all the political parties, including the pressure groups and also the rest of civil society who have concerns about the current register we have as a country. Now let's move on. The World Bank says despite Ghana's moderate performance, a lot more countries on the continent are making progress in improving the business environment for enterprises.
Rita Ramaulo is lead author of that report.
Another area where we are expanding is registering property, where, again, in addition to looking at the steps, time, and cost to transfer property, we're also looking at the reliability of the database and the transparency of the database in the land registry, so the land administration aspect. Lastly, the indicator that we also revamped this year was trading across borders to make it more relevant. And in general, all these additions and changes we hope are useful for researchers to further the knowledge on the impact of business regulation on economic outcomes, and also for policymakers to find new areas of reform and improving the life of entrepreneurs.
The Ghana Insurers Association is calling for legislation that will compel government institutions to insure all their properties.
The current law, according to the association, only focuses on private insurance. They made the call at a third National Life Insurance Conference here in Accra.
The third National Life Insurance Conference themed Group Life Insurance, a relevant tool for income security for family, industrial harmony and socio-economic development of Ghana, looked at best practices to increasing insurance penetration in the country. As part of the October Insurance Awareness Month, the group is calling for a legislation that will compel government institutions to insure all its properties, explaining that if government leads the way, it will be easy policy to increase penetration from the current 2% to a larger figure. Insurance Commissioner Lydia Bauer, however, says it is currently engaging governments over the matter.
The law for now talks about private commercial properties. So we're now engaging government so that it will be public, it will be extended to public properties as well. We're talking to government for them to appreciate the need to insure public properties. You know, for instance, I think in the recent past again, we had the Ministry of Foreign Affairs getting gutted down, and some other public institutions. Fire at the Ministry of Health stores in Teba. We lost a lot of drugs. There was no insurance, and government will have to find the money from somewhere. But if the warehouse was insured, the insurance companies would have taken care of that. So we have a current bill that we are discussing as an industry, and like I said, we are engaging government for it to. In Nigeria, the insurance of public property is compulsory, so we want that to be done in Ghana, and we are talking to the appropriate authorities for them to appreciate the need.
The head of pricing and reinsurance in South Africa, Bryce Salen, says apart from encouraging government to insure its properties, insurance companies must be innovative to attract customers.
I think innovation is a key success. In the end, a person wants something that meets their needs. So either they don't understand their needs, so they can't meet it, or there's nothing available to meet their needs. So that's why insurance products need to evolve and start tapping into other needs, such as wellness, different type of products that help people's needs. For example, discount models that give money back that enable you to pay for other things that you might perceive your need. So I think the important thing is to understand what the need is and meet that need appropriately, or help people to understand what their needs are and then meet that need.
This year's October Insurance Month ends on October 31.
We turn our attention to the issues of maternal health. An increasing number of mothers are abandoning their premature babies at health centers across the country.
And this has become a cause for worry among health professionals who are calling for public education to change perceptions of babies who are born ahead of time. Matilda Womaga has more.
A preterm birth is a baby born alive before 37 weeks of pregnancy is completed. Despite efforts aimed at addressing neonatal deaths, health professionals have identified a worrying trend, which they say could derail the progress made so far. Health officials say some mothers have adopted the attitude of abandoning their premature babies in the hospitals and clinics where they are born. Societal misconception coupled with financial challenges have been identified as a major reason for this. At the Tema General Hospital, for example, health professionals are left with no choice than to leave the babies in the care of the social welfare department.
Some of them abandon their babies because, one, they don't have money. And actually, money is not the one that we use in working. We are using National Health. So if it is health, then of course, National Health will take care of that. But some people don't have money, and then caring for the baby at home is also another problem. And then maybe some of them don't have, in quotes, husbands to the child. And of course, why am I taking this child? Who is going to help me? So most of the time, they abandon the baby. And sometimes when babies are born with some abnormalities, they fear to take the baby home. Community will look at them and say all sorts of things. They don't know what to do. Even with a lot of counseling, they will understand you, but the next minute they will leave without you noticing them. And then by their own mothers, we take care of them as mothers until they are, let me say, until if they came in with any disease condition, until they are fine or discharged, then we call in the social worker to come in. Continue their work.
Do you still have such babies here?
Currently we don't have one, but just a few weeks ago we have to send two away.
Dr. Abigail Dansu of the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit says the situation is preventable given timely and cost-effective interventions.
Prematurity can happen to anybody. We shouldn't blame ourselves when it happens. And we shouldn't give up on the babies because they are small, they don't look like the big baby who is supposed to be born at term. Because when they are given the adequate help that they need, they become they are actually very well. They do everything that a normal baby should do. And we shouldn't be scared of them because they all usually grow and they do everything. In fact, they are not sick anymore. It's just that they were born before time, but they have all the features a normal term baby should also has. So there's nothing spiritual about a premature baby.
In the light of this worrying situation, Little Big Souls, a non-governmental organization in Ghana, has started an awareness campaign to address some misconceptions about premature deliveries.
We encourage mothers as well when they have premature babies. It's about counseling. We always start from a place of knowing, because, for instance, I've been there. So I can talk to a mother to say that there's nothing wrong with you. You haven't done anything wrong to create this. There's nothing wrong with your family to have this precious baby within that family. Yes, and it's unfortunate, but you see, I think we break down cultural misconceptions with awareness, with education, because ignorance is also one of the things that perpetuates some of these misconceptions.
Little Big Souls also donated clothes and some medical consumables to the neonatal intensive care unit in support of the operations. Matilda Pamagan, for Joy News, Tema.
And that'll be it for the news for the morning.
Stay with us when we come back. We'll check out how the news portals are reporting the news this Thursday.